So Hamza Yousaf, remember the SNP guy who passed the hate crime bill criminalizing Scots saying anything hateful. He's royally screwed himself, and I wanted to go through some of the stuff here that I just think is incredibly funny. So the first thing here is just the SNP tweeting out, because we now have the Indian variant circling around in the UK. So this is a variant of COVID that has developed in India and is now here. The SNP refusing to call it that. So Nicola Sturgeon, from now on, I will refer to the variant as the April '02 variant. Stunning and brave. Didn't want to use the term Indian.
Don't want to offend the virus. Oh no.
Yeah, although I love him there as well. But we have reason to believe it might be even more transmissible than the Kent variant.
But
so fallen at the first hurdle there. So the Kent variant comes from Kent. Yeah, okay, we can do that. But the April '02 variant comes from
April.
Yeah, that's where that comes from. It's just pathetic. But this is the kind of thing you would expect from the morons who pass hate crime bills that criminalize you talking in your own homes. So if we go to the next one here, this is just the Times reporting on the situation with the hate crime bill. So hate crime bill, hate talk in homes must be prosecuted. So said Hamza Yousaf. Convictions over conversations over the dinner table that incite hatred must be prosecuted under Scotland's hate crime law, the Justice Secretary has said. So this is back when he was trying to push it through, which he has successfully pushed through. Journalists and theatre directors should also face the courts if their work is deemed deliberately to stoke up prejudice, Hamza Yousaf said. So if you're a journalist or a theatre director and you make a play or an article that stokes up prejudice, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, this legislation is awful, isn't it? I mean, I can't believe that people are actually voting for this stuff. Like, everyone in Scotland knows that they're doing this, but they're just like, yeah, this is fine. No, I haven't really heard that many people from Scotland, other than obviously the people that watch our show, that have been complaining about this. But this seems absolutely ridiculous. This is like 20th century stuff. Like,
yeah, I mean, no matter what you think of Scottish independence, you would have thought the Scottish people looking at the SNP criminalising speaking in your own home. I mean, hate talk within your home is criminal. They would have voted them out, but
they apparently hate the English so much that they're
willing to commit suicide. Essentially, I mean, give up all freedoms. Why? Because I hate the English. Not really an argument, but okay. So that was the proposal, and it passed. We go to the next one. This is just the fact that MSPs have approved the bill, and then there was the election, of course, in which the SNP kept their seats. Don't know what's wrong with the Scottish voters, but sure, okay. Maybe if you want independence that much, fine, go and be your little North Korea up north.
We must be awful for them to vote for this.
And in case you're wondering about the Hamza Yousaf, I love having an excuse to play this again and again. So if we go to the next link, just so we can see the YouTube video here of him talking about whites, the fact that Scotland is too white. And let's just play the first clip of him decrying whites.
Most senior positions in Scotland are filled almost exclusively by those who are white. Take my portfolio alone. The Lord President, white. The Lord Justice Clerk, white. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white. The Solicitor General, white. The Chief Constable, white. Every Deputy Chief Constable, white. Every Assistant Chief Constable, white. The Head of the Law Society, white. The Head of the Faculty of Advocates, white. Every Prison Governor, white. And not just Justice. The Chief Medical Officer, white. The Chief Nursing Officer, white. The Chief Veterinary Officer, white. The Chief Social Work Advisor, white. Almost every trade union in this country headed by people who are white. In the Scottish Government, every Director General is white. Every chair of every public body is white.
No, he's never going to live that down. That is the stupidest thing ever. But you can see how he's just motivated by hating whites. Just the accent as well. It's like the white nationalists from America who don't say W, they say H instead, white. Good. Yeah.
It's amazing that he lives in Scotland, of all the places, like the place with the least amount of foreign immigration. Just like, yeah, there's too many white people around. It's only because no one actually wants to live there that's emigrated from another country because it's too cold and rainy a lot of the time.
Scottish hatred coming out there, Josh.
It's fine. I'm half Scottish. I can say this.
You can get
stuff.
away with it then, right?
Yeah, I've got the pass.
But, it's like going to Zimbabwe and being like, the Justice Minister, black. The President, black. Okay, fine. So, yeah, I mean, man motivated by hatred of white people, in his own words, and then passed this disgusting law, which abolishes all freedoms in the Scottish realm. I mean, even freedom to talk in your own house is now gone. And something I saw in response during the elections, I've sort of been sitting on because I didn't know where to include it, but this is a great place to include it. So we can get this link up so we can show people the Love World Order. Just look at that image. Like, you know where this is going. So This is a candidate for the Liberal Party. I think he's since been suspended for doing this, but he decided to go down to the count where Hamza Yousaf was, and of course, this is satire at that law, the way he's dressed up and giving the love salute. So let's play the second clip, which you can see what this was.
Hate speech laws.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to talk
Those
about
hate
hate
crime
speech
bills,
laws,
yeah.
yeah. I'd like to talk about how we've all got to love everybody in our own homes. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't be a racist in your own home, is that okay?
Oh no, I don't want to be a racist.
Is that okay?
I
You can't be a homophobe in your own home, is that okay?
I just like to hate...
You can't be a transphobe in your own home, is that okay?
I would like to hate hideous and barbaric practices, such as stoning women to death for adultery,
hate all that. Yeah,
arresting rape victims,
oh, right, okay,
this sort of thing.
Yeah, and you get arrested for all that.
Not a problem, pal.
Yeah.
Jailing people for
You
blasphemy.
get arrested for all of that, so don't worry.
Aye,
Don't
not
you
in
worry.
Pakistan.
But don't.
We're not in Pakistan, pal.
We're in Pakistan.
And no, no.
Is there a reason you bring Pakistan into it?
It's just that if I was in my own home,
God, I wonder why.
I was in my own
Are
home,
we in
and I
Pakistan?
wished, if I wished to hate stoning women
Are we
to
in
death,
Pakistan?
if I wished to hate stoning women to death in my own home, that's no longer allowed, is it?
You're certainly not allowed to speak about it.
Yeah,
No
you're not
freedom
allowed
of
to.
speech
Let's not talk about stoning women to death.
That was a racist
This
salute
is a
outside.
sheriff's badge. Are you accusing me of racism?
I am actually,
You're
yes.
accusing me of racism.
Yes, I
Can
am.
have your name?
You can, it's Niall Christie, I'm the Scotland editor of the Morning Star.
And you're accusing me of racism.
I am, yes.
What exactly have I done that's racist?
So you don't, sorry, can I ask you then? Do you
No,
not
no,
think
no, no,
that
I'm asking you. You just accused me of racism. I'm asking you what I've done that's racist.
there's a Nazi salute outside that was
And
goose
that,
stepping?
that was a love salute. Love everyone. All the time. Spread love. We're just here to love everybody. And you've all got to love us as well.
See-
Love me?
Absolutely not.
You don't love me?
No, I don't
Oh.
like fascists and I don't like racists.
Oh, well, I don't either. I hope you're not stupid enough, all of you. I hope none of you are stupid enough to believe we're promoting fascism when plainly and very obviously we're here to satire and parody the fascist SNP hate laws. Obviously.
So you're
Are
saying-
you
so
all
you're
so
saying your behaviour is
stupid?
fascist and
Are
racist
you
then?
all so stupid? You think we've come here to promote fascism and racism and Nazism? Really? We are here to campaign against the SNP's fascist hate speech laws which criminalise you expressing your thoughts in your home. You have got to love me. You've got to love everything in the world, Niall, in your home. You can't hate anything, ever.
I can hate racism and fascism.
Oh, can you?
No, you can't. No, you can't. Because they are also a subcategory. I mean, there's the thing that like the law is now expanded so far that any subculture is the word there, is now a protected characteristic. And the idea for this, I don't know why anyone agreed to this, was that goths and emos are a subculture, for example. And if you are discriminated against for being a goth or an emo, therefore your civil rights have been infringed and we must protect your right to be a goth or an emo. And it's like, right, okay. Then why can't you just expand that to literally every subculture on Earth, including Nazism? Like, if a guy walks in with an armband that's literally a Nazi, like, that's a subculture. There we go. That's now protected by the law. Good job, progressives. Doing the Lord's work there. Anyway, so for people who are only listening, so they're like, the guy turns up, he's wearing an armband with love written on it, and the LGBT flag as the colours, and then is like giving the love salute. You can imagine what that is, but with a heart in his hand. So when he gives it, he's shouting love. And then you could see that, I mean, Hamza Yousaf, being a snake, was just like, oh, you want to be a transphobe in your own home, do you? So what? Well, he said no, but okay, well, let's just take yes. Let's just say yes. Maybe I do want to be, irrationally fearful of transsexual people in my own home. So what? Like, why should that be a crime? Like, if someone wants to sit at home and rabbit on about trans people, who's harmed? No one's harmed. No one's harmed whatsoever. He's just rabbiting in his own home. And they're like, no, we got to crack down on that. Like,
What if you're just on your own and somehow they just find out?
your Alexa bot kicks in. It's like, I heard some naughty words. He's saying trans women aren't women. And then that's it. Off to jail with you. I mean, it's ridiculous. You can see how pathetic the thinking is. But then also, much of a S-hole Scottish politics must be for all the journos there. They were all insistent, and you can see him explaining, come on, there's no way you can be this stupid that you actually think we're here to promote fascism. Like, this is obvious satire. That's the whole point. And no, they are really that stupid, or just snakes. And I think the latter is probably true. They're just snakes. They're activists for the SNP, like the Morning Star guy there, who was like, no, you're definitely a racist and a fascist. I don't know anything about that guy, but I imagine he didn't either. It's just some bloody guy that's turned up. And he's dressed like that. He's obviously engaging in satire, regardless of whatever his views are. In which case, that's not fascism. Him saying you're giving the fascist salute. No, it's a piece of satire there. If Monty Python had done the same thing, what would your response be? It's like, no, you just disagree with him because he's railing against the SNP. That's the point.
I don't think a fascist would march around with the Beatles playing in the background.
Was it the Beatles? I thought
Yeah, it was. Yeah, All You Need Is Love by the Beatles.
No, it was the Beatles.
Yeah, it
No,
was.
I do know one Beatles song. So that's that. That's one thing that went on. But the other thing here, which is really how Hamza Yousaf screws himself, which is there was a anti-Catholic video going around in Scotland. And I'm irritated it's not under his law, but it's the same thinking here. So if we go to the first one, here's this Police Scotland saying, "We are aware of a video circulating on social media apparently showing Rangers players using sectarian language while celebrating on Saturday. We are assessing its contents and will liaison with the Crown Office and Prosecutor Fiscal Services as part of our inquiries." So there's a horrible anti-Catholic video going around that's being sectarian. So if you go to the next one, this is Hamza Yousaf saying that he's also been made aware of this horrible video. So he says in here, "I have also been made aware of this clip, and I stress if this clip is genuine, then any player or staff member found guilty of anti-Catholic hatred should be shown the door by the club." Found guilty. Because Scotland's a normal place where being anti-Catholic is a crime, or anti-Protestant, because perfectly normal things. It is right for Police Scotland to investigate and determine the facts around it, but whether or not someone's being rude about the Catholic faith. So if we go to the next one, this is the Scotsman reporting that yes, this is a real thing. This isn't just someone didn't trip on the account at Police Scotland. Police Scotland investigate video that allegedly shows players and staff using sectarian language. And if you go to the next one here, you can see what it is. So if you hear anything other than do, you're actually mental. Half the team are Catholic. And it's a video here of lads chanting to Sweet Caroline. You know, Sweet Caroline.
You hear it endlessly in pubs all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
So when they shout do, some people, I guess, had something up their backside, decided that they were shouting F the Pope. So
How'd you get to that?
I don't know.
How does that sound anything like it?
I don't know. It doesn't
I
make
remember
any
actually
sense.
listening to this, and I if it hadn't had the caption, I would have just thought it was a bunch of sports people on a night out. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't see anything there or hear anything that seemed racially motivated in the slightest. It's
Catholic.
just a bunch of people dancing around to a song I don't like.
I didn't clip this. I should have. Can you play the audio from this just so people can hear? Because it is so pathetic how people are like, yeah, this is anti-Catholic bigotry. It's like. That's it. That's all it is. That's what's getting the police involved because of this sectarian video, the anti-Catholic bigotry of do. It's just it's so sad. It's just like, what's wrong with you? Anyway, so the advancement on this is that apparently Rangers have started legal proceedings against Hamza Yousaf on
Yes.
the basis that
Well
they're
done,
effectively
Rangers.
being defamed here by the Justice Minister, who's saying that these guys are engaging in anti-Catholic bigotry. Well, no, we're singing Sweet Caroline. You absolute nutter. I mean, this is a man who's just rabid about race and hate speech all day, every day, to the point that he's seeing it in the shadows. I mean,
There was obviously nothing there as well. It's like he's so fixated on it that even when there isn't anything there whatsoever, he's just like, yeah, it's definitely there. Absolute certainty.
I mean, what level of microaggression do you have to be pissed off at a song that's not even there? Like, the lyrics aren't even there. I mean, it's like someone saying, hey, do you want to get Chinese food? And they're like, did you just say the C word or something like that? So, what? What are you talking about? Like, you're just making stuff up. Anyway, so it says in here, Rangers FC have begun legal proceedings against certain individuals, believed to include Hamza Yousaf after police cleared the players of using sectarian language during title celebrations. It's not going to go over how they still have laws about being sectarian. It's weird. Police Scotland said there was no evidence of criminality. Alhamdulillah. Singing Sweet Caroline is now legal, don't worry. So we've got that one cleared at least.
I kind of agree that it should be illegal. I mean, I'm so sick of hearing it.
But I don't know what's wrong with Scotland. I feel like the police should just issue a list of things that you can say at this point. It'd probably be faster as well. So they've cleared them of having no evidence of criminality after investigating the footage. Investigating 5 seconds of footage. God, that must have taken long. on social media, which reported to show the squad members chanting "F the Pope" while singing along to "Sweet Caroline." I mean, I played that once and got it, that it wasn't F the Pope. So, I don't even know how they got it. Like, you would have watched it. It takes 5 seconds. But still, they took the time to write that whole tweet about we're investigating this video. It's like, it would have taken less time to watch the video than you type out that tweet.
Some people need to invest in better headphones, I think.
Especially the police.
Yeah.
But it's just like, they're looking for things that aren't even there. I mean, this is all the same kind of thinking, though. The fact that, well, someone said something that might be anti-group, therefore we need to shut it down. And in this case, it's just F the Pope. It's not a legal thing. Like, if they had said F the Pope, would they go to jail? Police Scotland? Hamza Yousaf? I mean, you seem to be of the opinion that, yes, if they were saying F the Pope, you absolutely should be kicked out of the club and found guilty. Guilty of the crime of hating the Pope. Okay. It's like a weird thing for a Muslim to say, but...
every Protestant, I mean, try to do that in Northern Ireland. Wouldn't go down well, I imagine.
No, but it should be legal. That's the thing. It's just like, I don't
of
care if
course.
some pathetic Catholics are like, no, you have blasphemed against the Vicar of Christ on earth. They're like, yeah, okay, I'm sure he'll live. Don't worry. Like, I can say F the Pope and it'll be fine. But not in Scotland, I guess. In England,
you'll get arrested.
If you want some liberty, my fellow Protestants, come south. Like, oh boy, what a weird world. But also, Hamza, you ever looked at your own Twitter history? Because this resurfaced the other day. A few of his tweets, which he wrote, I don't know, presumably before he became a member of Scottish Parliament, and yeah, they're pretty spicy. So the first one here: nice of the hashtag Pope to vindicate all Jews of Jesus' death. What next? He'll let off all Muslims for 9/11. Hashtag 2,000 years too late. Okay. The Jews killed Jesus. So. Okay, Hamza. Like, not the Romans, but fine, right?
That's...
But again...
What happened to him in these, 10 years to go from this to
the
next
current
one's state?
Even more extreme. So if we go to the next one, this is another one of his from 2010. So it's 11 years ago now. Black comedians use the N-word all the time, plus Asians use the P-word, I'm going to say, term, so not sure why it only becomes an issue when a white comedian uses it. Says Hamza Yousaf, the man who just criminalized you saying hate talk in your own home. 2010, he didn't understand why, if a white guy said a racial slur, I mean, because it's obviously dependent on the context of how it's used, not the slur in of itself that makes it offensive. But he's like, no, I don't know why a white comedian uses it, and then he gets in trouble. Because it's obviously depending on the context. It's just like, man, Hamza, you used to be someone who thought. Like, actually thought something through, and think, hang on. It's not the term itself, it's the context in which it is used, which is important. And now you're the man who has criminalized talking in your own home.
What has actually happened to him in the past 10 years? Has he had something dropped on his head? Like, how can you get to this point where you're like, okay, I understand that context is important, and then kind of regress to just like, yeah, none of it is okay, actually.
Like, not even in your own home. I mean, that's the thing. It's like...
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Like, he's on about comedians doing it, which, is controversial in some other areas other than Scotland. And then
American leftists also have a thing
exactly.
about this.
That's what I was alluding to.
But I mean, like, take, what is it? The ginger one. I can't remember his name right now. The American comedian? Louis C.K.? Is that the right guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he does an amazing sketch on this. There was George Carlin, I think he's dead now, did an amazing sketch on this. I don't think I can repeat the whole thing, but he did a sketch about the N-word, the dreaded N-word. And when you hear the N-word, I mean, what happens in your head? Well, the word plays. So what's the point in saying the N-word? Same effect, but all right. Whatever, world we live in. And he goes on this big rant about, like, well, why do we not care when black guys do it? It's like, right, it's because they're N-words, is what he said. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. That's the point. It is that the context of the word that is valuable, not the word in and of itself. I mean, you can see the same thing with a dog. You can say to the dog, oh, I love you, no. You can say to the dog, yeah, I'm going to kill you, and start stroking it. Like, I'm going to run you over with my car. I'm going to turn you into smush and all the rest of it. And then you can shout at the dog, I love you, and it's scared of you shouting. Because it's the context of the words, not the words themselves that matter.
If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 PM UK time on lotuseaters.com.